Hello, I'm Brian Fox, and welcome to I hate rock music. I love rock music. Mwah. So anyway, I'm going to do one in this video, a band that I kind of have reservations about, but I still think it's such a unique record, a unique band. Really cool that it happened, but there's some things I would like to tweak with it. That's the band White Lightning, no G, and it came out on Island Records in 1974, and it has a cover by the same artist that worked with Santana, and I think some Miles Davis as well. So it's got a really Afrocentric cover to it that's really intriguing. And as it turns out, it's a all black power trio more or less. And the album was produced by Felix Pappalardi and recorded in Memphis. So um, that's why I was drawn to it. I remember just flipping through the racks in 1974 and saw that cover and thought it looked pretty cool. And then I had no idea who they were or what they did, but the fact that Felix Pappalardi produced it made me buy it sight unheard. And so the band is Busta Jones on bass, Ralph Kinsey on drums, and Donald Kinsey on guitar. And of course, they were in a band called the Kinsey Report, a straightforward blues band later. But Donald Kinsey also spent some time with Peter Tosh and the Wailers, and all these guys met playing with Albert King. And then Buster Jones has the most interesting pedigree. Of course, he was in the British band Sharks, which was a free spinoff with Chris Spedding. He spent some time with the Talking Heads, spent some time with Gang of Four, and was even on Brian Eno's "Here Come the Warm Jets." So good for him. But they have a really interesting mixture. They're really stark. And there's some lead overdubs on it, but it's pretty thin. I'm not sure why they went for that kind of sound. Definitely has a live sound, but sometimes they kind of remind me of Kool and the Gang with just a guitar, or some of the material kind of reminds me of Band of Gypsies when you go through the songs. Jokes on You and Wild Return to the Underground. That's No Lie. Danger, all kind of remind me of something the Band of Gypsies would have done. So that's a great thing. Um, and as a Black Power trio, not surprised. And they're kind of a Hendrix Band of Gypsies sort of vibe, but I don't want to sell it too much on that kind of sound because it definitely isn't as epic and intense as Band of Gypsies were. But um, just the way the songs are constructed, the chord progressions, having a black singer, the overdub leads, just kind of lends itself to that sort of sound. But all in all, they're really stripped down, kind of thin. But some of the songs are really great. It opens up with "Jokes on You," which is one of my favorite songs on the album, and then of course right away they hit you with a ballad called "Without You," which could have been an R&B hit on the radio as far as I'm concerned. But like I mentioned before, that's No Lie. T is in Trouble, which is really funky and light. That's the one that kind of reminds me of something Kool and the Gang would do. The guitar tones are pretty straightforward, but there's a few tunes where the guitar tone's a little more overdriven, and that really works for me. I'm surprised they didn't do more of that. Return to the Underground is really heavy and has some great overdrive guitar, and there's a somewhat Hendrixy solo on it. So, and Wild in the Streets also have some nice overdriven guitar, but they got a really dry tone, and then the leads are not that intense either. And there actually is a couple of songs that, at least at this point, sound a little more pedestrian, and I don't enjoy them as much. But I try to be accepting of them because they recorded these songs and it's part of their vision. So I want to try and appreciate it as much as I can. But Shotgun Rider and Youngblood are both a little more questionable. It's too bad they didn't have a couple more killer tunes to mix in with the on this record to make up for those two. But my overall feeling is it's a really unique record. I'm glad it exists. The best of it is really good. Obviously, Felix Pappalardi did a great job producing it, but I wish he would have guided him into a different direction. I think the rhythm guitar should have been pumped up about twice as far as overdrive, and I think the solos also should have been more electrifying, and the phrasing itself is in the right direction. I just think there should have been more intensity of the leads, and then mostly I think there should have been more guitar overdubs. Um, the record is so thin and so stark. If you turn it up a lot, it packs a lot of punch and it sounds great. But I would have liked to seen, maybe a third, possibly a fourth at different places, guitar overdubs to put a little more meat on the bones. And I think they should have exploited the Hendrix angle a little bit more as well. It's implied on here, but it just seems like they really could have gotten away with kicking it up a few notches, making that Hendrix connection. But that said, I definitely don't expect this record to wow a lot of people. Um, I recommend it with reservations. Obviously, the links below. Check it out. You can decide whether you like it or not. But I find it a delightful record that has a lot of charms. Some of it is really killer. Um, a lot of it doesn't necessarily blow me away, but it's just a good listen, an interesting band. I'm glad they existed, and I'm glad this record came out. And it looks good too. It looks good in your collection because it's got a great cover, and there's not that many bands around like them. So there you have it, White Lightning. Check them out. I'm Brian Fox. Thanks for watching my channel.